Good morning. Welcome everybody here and everybody at home on YouTube to Unity of Port St. Lucie. And would you please stand and sing with us our opening song, One Light. One light brings us all together. One light inside you and me. One light shines in every person that I see. It's the light that shines inside of me. Light brings us all together. Light inside you and me. Light shines in every person that I see. It's the light that shines inside of me. It's the light that shines inside of me. Would you please join us in our prayer for inner peace? Creator of all that is, I open my heart and mind this morning to the presence of God that is within me and in everyone and everything. That one power and one presence. I let God's peace fill my being. In this presence, I am peaceful, poised, confident, and strong. I relax in God's loving care and release all my cares, knowing that God is upholding me and sustaining me in all that I do. God's presence calms me, quiets the storms around me, and leads me to a place of perfect peace. As I center myself in that peaceful presence this morning, I let go of every concern and relax in the safety of God's love and in the love of those around me. I find Unity of Port St. Lucie a sanctuary of love and peace, and I am open and receptive to receive all it has to soothe my mind and soul this day. And so it is. Amen. Would you join me in our statement of faith? There is only one power and one presence in my life and in the universe, God the good, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. And our core values. Unity of Port St. Lucie encourages diversity and embraces harmonious and creative pursuits of truth and knowledge in a safe environment to achieve balance and wholeness in the world. Welcome. At a social distance, but welcome. And then please stand and join us in our congregational song, God Bless America. God bless America, light that I love, and beside her, and beside her, through the light with the light from above, from the mountain to the valley, Anybody else out there old enough to remember Kate Smith used to sing that a lot? Liars, he says. Okay, daily word today is Stacy Murphy.
Gotta get my glasses on. Okay. Thank you. Good morning. The daily word for today is now. And the affirmation is, I find my power in this very moment. There is power in this very moment. Yesterday is past and tomorrow is not yet here. There is only this moment, ripe with promise and potential, ready for me to live into it fully. Through my many divine gifts, everything I need to get started is within me. I need not wait for the perfect moment to arrive because there is no time more perfect than now and no place more perfect than here. Procrastination has no place in my life. I fritter away my energy when I find reasons not to get started, losing my zeal and focus and inviting frustration into my life. Today I claim the power of the present and say, this is the day I begin. Now is the time to begin, to serve, to forgive, to create, and to love. See, now is the acceptable time. See, now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. And if we could all say the affirmation together, I find my power in this very moment. Thank you.
As we enter meditation, I invite you to sit back in your chair and relax. Take a deep breath in and let it out. If you are comfortable with it, for the next few moments, let my words be your words. Remember a few weeks ago when Reverend Linda asked us to write one sentence describing a whole new world. Recall that sentence and that world you envisioned. Imagine that you are living in that world. As you step out of where you live, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you feel? Take a moment in the silence to experience that world with all of your senses. Observe how it differs from this world. And as we gently return to this world, I'd like you to consider these words. You know them. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Is that world you envisioned loving? Then we must be love. Is that world peaceful? Then we must be peace. Are children safe in that world? Then we must make our children safe. Are people cared for in that world? then we must care for each other. If I want the world to be loving, then I must approach every interaction with love. We must always live from our Christ center. We must listen lovingly and carefully to everyone. We must let go of judgment of others. And the most wonderful, amazing part of this is that every loving thought we have enriches the world. Every time we treat someone caringly, we all benefit. Every time we pray, we lighten the planet. Every act of kindness enriches everyone. Every loving thought, loving word, and loving action brings us one step closer to that ideal world we dreamed of. For each of us, with every thought, every word, and action, is creating that new world we will all inhabit together. One small step at a time, we move into the new reality. We are powerful, so powerful, and we need to embrace that power. Poetess Amanda Gorman said, "For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it." Let us consciously pledge to create together this new world with love, peace, and caring. And so it is. Amen.
Guess I'm up. Can't be too careful. Today I chose to talk about I Too Can Dream. And I chose this topic because of Black History Month that's coming up. Tomorrow it starts. In case you didn't know, but I'm sure everybody knew that. This is something that goes back to the 70s. And back then, I remember it was Black History Week. And I thought that was great. And now we get a whole month. Of course, it's the shortest month of the year. But who's counting? And there is a reason why it's in February. I wasn't sure why, but now I know. It's because of two birthdays that are in February: Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. And most of us know the story. Um, what I want to talk about is some of the people that have their heads in the sand and don't believe that things happen. We have come pretty far, and we have far yet to go. And I want to speak on why we even need to have Black History Month. And I know why. I don't know if everyone else knows why. When I grew up in school, in elementary school and high school, and well, not so much high school, we finally had it there, but there was no Black history. It was almost as if we didn't even exist other than slaves, and that was it. And there's a lot more to the Black America, and I just wanted to point some things out that go unseen. We had our Cotton Gin, our Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver, and Rosa Parks, and they're very important people to know about. And that was all that I got growing up. Um, a lot of people don't even understand what a white world is, but for most of my life, that's all I saw was a white world. Dick and Jane books, all white. Santa Claus, white. Tooth Fairy, white. Barbie dolls, white. Ken, white. Like, where are we? If I wanted to see blackness, I had to look, and we had to look at each other. Um, thank God some of those things now have changed. We have some Barbies with some kinky hair. We have some Ken dolls that have quite a tan now. There's even some Asian dolls now. We can see every time we went to see Santa Claus and sit on his lap, which I thought was a little freaky. He was white. I don't know if they still, well, during COVID, I'm pretty sure they don't do that. But I just want to point out a few people that have gone unnoticed. Um, First, I want to talk about Dr. King a little bit, of course. This just summarizes I Have a Dream speech. I'm not going to do the whole speech, we'd be here all day. But he says, I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self evident that all men are created equally. Sounds good on paper, doesn't it? Um, so I wrote a song that goes along with this talk called I Too Dream. And my wife helped me write the song as well. I spent about maybe 2 hours on the music and lyrics, and I handed it to my wife and I said, give me a verse here. And man, she had it within 3 minutes, something that took me 2 hours, which only means there's a lot inside that had to come out. And when we do the song after this talk, I'm putting the words up there so you can see them. Not for you to sing, but unless you feel the spirit. And so you can understand what we're saying, what we have to say. And this is not a, a speech that you heard many, many times before. This is stuff that goes unknown. So I want to talk about this first person. Dr. Shirley Jackson, who experimented with physics and paved the way for development in telecommunications, space, which made way for touch telephone, portable fax, caller ID, call waiting, and fiber optic cables. Has anyone ever heard of this person, Shirley Jackson? Whoa, we got. Oh, cool. We got 3 people. Anyway, these are the things I think should be taught in schools. And as some of you know, Linda and myself, we teach at the Good Shepherd School in Tequesta. We teach music there once a week. And we started teaching Black history there last year. And these kids had zero Black history. I mean, zero. Not even Harriet Tubman and Cotton Gin. And I just say those because those were drilled in my head as a kid. But there was no Shirley Jackson. And another guy that I think we should have heard about, this guy, Louis Latimer. Anybody ever hear of him? Oh, my wife did. Wow. Okay, Louis Latimer, while Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, what Louis Latimer did took it his idea further, because the light bulb that Thomas Edison invented only lasted a couple of days. It was gone, but my man Latimer came along and made it better with carbon filament that allowed the light bulb to become commercial success that it is today. He installed broad scale lighting for New York, Montreal, London, and Philadelphia, and holds patents for an electric lamp, and helped Alexander Graham Bell patent the phone. Now, I heard about Alexander Graham Bell and I heard about Thomas Jefferson, but I never heard about Louis Latimer. And I hope I'm saying his name right. And I'm just going to share one more person with you, this guy named Garrett Morris. I think a lot of people know about him. This is the guy in the early 1900s invented the 3-light traffic system that we all use every day. Stop, go, slow down, which has turned into go faster now. But I mean, we really almost couldn't even drive without this man's contribution. So I just wanted to share some historic facts that go unknown or have gone unknown to me in school. So we're not in class, but it never hurts to learn something in church or anywhere else. And education plays a big role in everyone's life and in being successful. Um, One thing that gets under my skin and is still going on today, and I don't know how to cure it, but I cure one person at a time, whoever I can. And that's the language that's used in a lot of neighborhoods um, among African Americans. And it is associated with underprivileged people. And then we have racism and prejudice amongst ourselves that we create. Um, Slaves were speaking ignorant because they were uneducated. And the ones that started to get educated had to pretend they weren't because you weren't allowed to be educated without getting whipped. So you kept that ignorant language. And now, today, when I was young, and now, um, if you're in one of these neighborhoods and you're not speaking the ignorant language, people will tell you, oh, you sound white. And that is the biggest put down anybody could ever do to our own people of color, I'm speaking to with about. Um, so if I talk ignorant and don't use the English language properly, now I'm speaking like a black man? No, I don't accept that. And just to give you an example, um, it's okay to speak like this in one of these types of neighborhood if you say, what your name is. I don't accept that, and I correct kids all the time, anytime when they use that type of speech. Because you're saying that As a person of color, you're supposed to sound ignorant and sound stupid, like you don't know anything. And only the white people are allowed to speak as if they have education. Now, there's lots of people that get out of that trap, but there's lots of people still in it. I still can't stand to go to certain neighborhoods and go through a drive-through only because I can't understand what the heck they're saying. And I tell my wife, I said, Linda, let's just go inside. At least maybe I can read their lips. I can point to something. And that's pretty sad to have to do that. But it is true. So anyway, that's one of my pet peeves I try to get over, and I try to better myself and better other people as I go along in my travels. Now, I would like to move up a little bit to some of the hidden racism and prejudice that people don't even know. There's many of us have been programmed into a realm of thinking that we don't even realize happens. And I used to get tired of educating people and telling people, this is what needs to be done. You need, and Maya Angelou said, you should never tire yourself of educating someone. And ever since I heard her say that, I try not to tire myself, although I get tired sometimes. When you have to repeat yourself so many times, there's people who have not understand. You know, some of the prejudice and racism people don't see, for instance, calling someone boy, and that comes from slavery times when, okay, a person of color's down here, okay, now you're sir, but down here you're a boy. So when you call an adult boy, you're really putting them down. And the phrase, you people, oh, that's another one that goes right through you. But I'm not teaching you anything you don't already know with that. But I do want to open eyes that haven't been opened. For instance, some of the hidden racism I was telling you about, going to a store, a person of color and a white person. You look for help to ask someone a question. Who's the salesperson go to? The white person. Without even thinking, this person's brain is already trained that don't speak to that person, speak to the white person. And my dad, who most of you know, is a white person. And so we've experienced all kinds of stuff, but I love the way that my father handles certain situations. We would go into a store, he and I together, and he would stand away from me, thus forcing the salesperson to talk to me. Now, the average person is not even going to notice that this is happening, but it happens today, yesterday, the day before, and more than likely tomorrow. But these are the things inside of people that have to be untrained. You have to, and I mean, obviously, it starts from you within what you do with yourself. I'm not going to change the world, but I can change one, two, maybe five, maybe 10 people before I die and multiply that by all you guys teaching 10 people. Wow, we got a lot of people changing and making a difference. Another thing I pride my dad with is, handling a situation like that, making someone look in the mirror that you don't realize, or you don't know what you're looking at or what's coming out of your mouth. You don't realize how you're being portrayed. My little brother, baby brother, got hurt one day and had to be taken to the hospital. So my dad took him to the hospital, and the doctor said, we can't do anything without parental approval. And the doctor said, do you understand? And my dad said, yes. That's all he said. And so the doctor said, well, we have to get permission from the parent. The parent has to get permission for me to do anything to this child. My dad said, yes, I understand. And after maybe 5 times going through this shenanigans back and forward, the guy finally said, are you the father? My father said, yes, I am. So the guy's eyes were not open, and he needed them open to see, put a mirror in front of him, see, this is what you look like. This is what you sound like. You don't know how you're coming across to people. And I feel fortunate that I had training like that. Although I'm not quite as soft spoken as my dad. I guess many of you know that. um, prejudice comes from prejudging people, and there's not a human being on the planet that isn't prejudiced at one time or another. Sometimes it's a protecting mechanism to protect you from something. You know, if you see a bridge that's not well traveled and it's made of rope and it looks kind of old, you're judging that bridge, what it's going to do if you walk across it. And my judgment would be like, nope, I'm not going to do it. Now, am I wrong for prejudging? I don't think so. Sometimes it protects you, and sometimes it gets in the way. Um, I've been prejudged many times. Um, as everyone knows, we're in the music business, and we play in clubs, and we've traveled up and down the East Coast of America. We haven't gone many places west, and mostly on the East Coast, north to south. We've been both ends of 95. And I tell people these stories many times. People say, "Nah, it doesn't happen." I don't believe it, Jeff. Oh, yes, it does. When then I first started working in small clubs in Philadelphia, we got lots of work, and work wasn't a problem. And we met a friend of ours that wanted us to take ourselves to a higher level. In order to go to a higher level, we had to get an agent. And so this guy had a great agent out of Atlantic City. So we went and met him and auditioned for the company, and they loved us and wanted to work with us. And the agent we were working with, I'm just telling you this part of the story because it pertains to it, is this white Jewish guy. And he says, we were a duo. He wanted us to be a bigger band. We were going to be a show band to travel to other places, play bigger venues. And when you're a bigger band, you make more money. The agent gets a bigger percentage. So he's looking at that big pie and wants a big slice of it. That's how the business works. So he told me, the only way I can book you guys at these rooms that I want to book you in, you got to get at least 2 white people in your band. I looked at Linda. We know a lot of musicians. Most of them were of color. So put an ad in the paper. Obviously, I didn't say looking for a white musician. Put an ad in the paper. We got all kind of responses. The sad part is they were all white. I mean, the response, I'm wondering if people of color reading the paper. Come on now. So anyway, so we had a cruise ship job that came up kind of quick. And so we were in a hurry to hire 2 white musicians. And we didn't find one that we really felt strongly about. So we settled for something that was okay. I figured when we get on the road, we can work with them and make them better musicians, which we did. We hired them, we worked with them on days off or during the day when we didn't have to play, and so that's how we worked. And be it right, be it wrong, be it ethical, unethical, I'm not judging, not asking you to judge. Um, a man got to eat. So there's one time, another time we had to get rid of some musicians. We had a flowing in and out of the door from time to time. So this one time we had a great gig up in upstate New York, and we couldn't find a white musician quick enough. So I found this. I told Linda, we got this friend. He's a man of color, but he's really, 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 really light. I said, he may be able to pass for white. I mean, this brother was really light skinned. So so we told her, hey, yeah, we got somebody, we're good. We're gonna went up to the gig, and the place was called. I really don't want to drop names, but I don't think this place is open anymore, so I can't get sued or anything. But this is a fact anyway. The man can say this didn't happen, but this happened. It was Chinese Frankie's Chinese Steakhouse. So I'm thinking, oh, we got to be in here. Light skinned guy, Chinese Steakhouse. We played one night. I got a phone call that morning. Next morning, band is fired. Now, I know I'm not the greatest musician in the world and then the greatest singer in the world. You heard it from my mouth, okay? I got to go home with her. But we were good enough to get the job done. So you can't blame it on the playing of the band. And like I said, I can't prove that that's why we were fired, but I'm pretty sure. And to add to that story, this was in the 80s. I'm going to bring you up to the 2000s. The 2000s. This is now, well, not 2001, but close enough. 2000. We were working with another agent. And agents are usually pretty honest with you because they want to get paid like I want to get paid. So once again, we run into this wall in Palm Beach, an exclusive restaurant wanted a duo. Well, heck, we're a duo. But the agent said they wanted blonde hair, blue eyed singers. I thought about dyeing my wife's hair, getting her some contacts that are blue. But then it brought memories back of Frankie's Chinese Steakhouse. So, do I work with this blonde, blue eyed girl for the job? Or do I turn it down? Well, we ate that night, had a roof over our head. I took the job. Again, I'm not asking for anyone to judge me, or I'm not judging the situation or saying whether it's ethical or unethical. This is a world, a life we live in, and this is something we have to deal with. And I'm just trying to open some people's eyes that have not seen certain things that I see, being a person of color. So there's I wasn't gonna make this point, but we were playing in a club in Fort Pierce one time. And I mean, we're getting closer and closer to home. You see how this is? And it was a club that you wouldn't expect to see Shepherd and Green in, but we were there. We'd take a job now. And we were a little nervous because as soon as I walked into the door, every song I heard on the jukebox was a country song. Not that I have nothing against country music, but I mean, every song in there was country, and Lynn and I didn't do any country. So I was a little bit nervous, but we went in and did what we do. People loved us. White guy came up to me, shake my hand, said, "You guys are great. I'm not supposed to like you." And he handed me a card. The card had 3 Ks on it. 3 Ks. I ain't making this up. I was like, wow, okay. They didn't shoot us or nothing or hang us, right? And we had the gig for what, maybe 2, 3 months, huh? Oh, over a year. So some things can change. I mean, if he handed me that card before we played, I don't know what I'd have done, but it might not have been any music playing for me that night. But it just goes to show you to prejudge something you just don't know. And another one mistake that I made, and I'm gonna get to the song. I my daughter brought home a friend of hers. It was actually a person of color, a Hispanic person. They became intimate friends, and they dressed well, looked good, spoke good English, prepositions in the right place, adjectives in the right place, clean cut. I said, "Oh, this nice person." I had conversations, let him in our house, stayed there a few days. My prejudgment was really bad. It was off. This person started stealing and ripping everything off out of our house when we weren't there. And I'm not talking little stuff like jewelry. I'm talking speakers, keyboard, a cello. So that was a bad cause. Prejudging just goes and goes. So anyway, this song that we wrote that we're about to do is called "I Too Can Dream." One of my dreams, obviously, taken from Martin Luther King's speech, but I wasn't going to plagiarize his speech. So I call it "I Too Can Dream." And one of my dreams is not to be judged by my skin. One of my dreams is to open eyes that cannot see. And my third dream is to live in harmony, love, and happiness. May we all make dreams happen. I want to thank you for your time and thank you for listening to me. God bless. It's coming, I promise. I was busy talking, so I didn't get a chance to set my keyboard up. If I don't get it right, there's somebody, I won't mention any names, who will be very upset. Well, that sounds good. good things come to those that wait. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream, oh, open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream. Emancipation, proclamation, this must be reality. Life, liberty, pursuit, happiness. Now this my country, a land of liberty. People have died for peace. How can we live blindly? World of make-believe. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream of open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream. The more things change, more remains the same. Think what could happen, all treated equal. We can live in harmony, accepting people as human race. If you can treat me as you want treated, no more needs to be said. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I can dream of open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream of open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream of open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream of open eyes, release the steam, and you can
Thank you, Jeff, for that message, and thank you, Jeff and Linda, for that song. Now is the time in the service when we take out our gifts and offerings and tithes, hold them in our hands, bless them with our energy as we say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. People here, you know the collection plates are socially distant in the back there. Stacy Murphy, are you our prayer chaplain? Oh, it's Linda Woodcox today, right there. She'll meet you up here for prayer after the service. Prayer circle Thursdays at 11. Chair yoga with Lana going on Tuesdays at 10. Spiritual discussion is this Tuesday at 7 o'clock, led by John Hayes. Starting next Sunday at 11:30, bring a bag lunch after the service. The 12 Powers of Man, the 12 Powers, book based by Charles Fillmore, and he's going to do one a week, hopefully for the 12 weeks, right here in the sanctuary at about 11:30. We will have water and tea and coffee, and I talked about them today. We're going to make Zoom available for you people at home who are sheltering in and can't be here. So when you get your newsletter this Friday, the link for the Zoom meeting will be on it. So if you're interested, you got to open and actually read the newsletter this Friday. Actually, we have a pretty high read rate of our newsletter. It's around 45 to 50%, which is high. Most of that stuff people just delete without opening. And Divine Audacity is the next book that Reverend Linda Machezik will be doing on Wednesdays beginning when? The 10th. And you can see her, the link is there. We can go back to it. You can see me after the service, or you can let her know. And Unity on the Space Coast is having classes that would you can get credit for, and that information is there as well. Next Sunday, Reverend Linda Machezik will be back. Then I got a couple. Do you have a choir announcement?
Yes, finally. Oh. We have choir rehearsal this Wednesday at 6 p.m. All are welcome. I'll be there.
A couple of announcements. Carmen Lake, one of our board members, wanted me to tell you she's doing Valentine's Day bags for Paul's kids. So if anybody has something you'd like to contribute to it, if you could bring it next week, we'll add it. She's going to get them here at least during the week sometime. And our brand new Unity of Port St. Lucie website is live, and it's wonderful, very interactive, a lot of resources. So please go there, explore. It's a work in progress. So if you see an error or you see something that you wish was there that is not, please text or email either me, John Hayes, or Reverend Linda, and we'll get it to the person who is designing the website. Okay. And now I'm going to embarrass her, but I just have to. I have to give much thanks to Jada, our 15-year-old videographer back there who has been doing this service today. Mr. Paul came to see that we were set up and live, and then he had someplace else he had to be, so she's been the boss today. And before we leave, I just have to give a shout out to Jack Shepard, who I know is watching right now, and anybody else in Jeff's family who's live with us. Welcome. And thanks to everybody who comes early, stays late, and makes this happen. So if you would stand and sing with us our closing song, Peace.
Oh, thank you.